Supreme Weekend, Supreme Saturday, Supreme Rising. You already know the vibes. Despite what shows up, I'm going to keep dropping these jewels. It don't even matter because I already know, like, I've been known, I've been said it. It's been expressed. You can go back through the videos and everything that y'all don't see is still happening right now. A lot of shit y'all miss still be in my videos weeks and months ago, and it's still happening right now. It don't even matter to me though, because it shows the attention span of how well people are able to listen. And if you can't hear something simple that I told you that I noticed off of vulnerability or a real value, you definitely not going to ever be able to hear the divine. That's just a fact. You can't hear the divine. Not for nothing, people still digress to negativity as if it's a thing, as if it's something that's supposed to happen. Like you think that you have the authority to point your fingers at inadmissibles. I know the feeling when a person is hurt on the inside because of something that they believed in. That lesson is easily taken advantage because you want to trust in people. You want to believe in them. You want to look at them in a certain way and believe that what they say is true. And when your emotions get involved, they can use that as a weakness pillar or a reason to point fingers at you. Divine said, I'm imperfect, so that shit don't never work with the Almighty. It might work on the minds of the person who's affected at the moment and feel bad, but it's not a reality. And then to gather a numerous amount of other weakened individuals that have holes in their armor, and you can easily slither right in there with a false retrospective value, and automatically people are like, oh, that must be what it is. It don't work like that. Nothing in life works like that. If that was the case, then somebody can do something to something that can't take care of itself and nothing won't ever happen. Digress it to whatever comprehension you want. Your child while you're standing there, your granny while you're standing there, shit like that. Yeah, it won't happen. So it won't happen on no other basis, especially with a full comprehension of divinity, having that as a notion. Of course, you can feel fleshly inferior to whatever particular equality of your fleshly equal would say a value, because the rippling effect is within the same body. That's why it's so easy to manipulate people. It's like yelling at the water. You know what I'm saying? If I throw a rock in a lake, it's gonna ripple. It's right next to me. You didn't do anything big, but in your mind, you think you did. People think that they are authority over other people. This whole thing is about you comprehending that no man is authority and divine is the authority, period, over all things. No matter how far you rise or where you get, you're not to place nothing on a pedestal. You're not to judge nothing, and you're not to get involved in the pathway of individuals' existence unless you're procuring the destination, unless you're making sure you get to the ending. That's your only job. Everything else you're not supposed to do. Those are called cardinal sins. That's what that is. Those are cardinal sins. You go against the divine. You can't go against the divine. You can't interfere in the pathway of somebody's walking. You can't, literally, you can't say you're not fit for your life. The fuck? That shit is crazy to me. On top of that, to have the audacity to keep wanting to throw blame instead of you having, and you know what's even more crazy? I was looking for the contrast to that shit for a long time. And I was like, yo, I don't see it, but now it shit hit me like a ton of bricks, and I'm like, wow. Do you know accountability is the contrast to saying I'm sorry? Like, I thought about that shit for a long time. Like, a motherfucker be like, yo, I'm sorry for something. And you didn't even really do nothing wrong, right? You willing to say you sorry. I used to think the contrast to sorry was not saying you sorry. Like, you don't say you sorry. Contrast that is saying you sorry. Like, that is not it. That is not the smart part. It's not it at all. And I had to realize that shit, I'm sitting there like, yo, show me divine. Show me. And what was told to me is the contrast to a person who's willing to apologize is a person who won't take accountability. And that's what you see That's what you see. You even hear the fake value of what that looks like sometimes, like trying to gaslight you and place something else in the space of their action, opposed to them saying, you know what, I shouldn't even came at you like that. If the power of responsibility for structure and peace lies in when I'm going through a structure and I can come to the individual where my peace should be, then in that fact, that's the definition that connects to the value of why you're together in the first place. Whenever one or other in the circumstance partnership cannot hold the ideology of which you're standing together for in the first place, before the sentence is even finished, the situation was over. This is the part that we don't understand because we're fighting for something against the inadmissible of the contract. Now, what am I saying to you? You signed up for the same thing I did. What's making your mouth run on gas? You signed up for the same thing I did. What's making you get out of character? These things ain't never looked at. It's more or less you're emotional because you're distraught by the party's attack on your feelings. But your feelings is in line or entwined to what you decide to deal with. So that means what you're dealing with should be taking care of your feelings, not trying to distort them. That's a secret. That's a point. And that's something no one does. Because the pettiness of a circumstance has to be spoken. And then when you get to that point, the weaker minds say, yes, you know what, I agree. Because they're weak as fuck. And unfortunately, it's a billion of those people on earth. And majority of them is connected through social media. That's why they like to tell people their business, because they don't take accountability for their life in the first place. So as soon as you get something to say, as soon as you get something to carry, or you get something that you can manipulate, that's where entertainment comes from. That's where a likeness comes from. In this world, sorry, I love my brother 50 Cent. He's a cancer. But in the same breath, he made it cool to be stupid. He made it okay to damage things and make it okay without the comprehension of understanding that everything in earth is imperfect. And to point that out does nothing. But to point it out amongst a bunch of people who are low vibrational, it does a lot. It does numbers, because the low vibration is what sustains the value of immorality. So if you don't have a comprehension on actuality and circumstances touching like from one point to the next and what that looks like in between, how they travel, then you don't even know what you're saying or doing. You're just saying stuff without the contingency of understanding the mechanism of what you're saying. You don't know, you're reacting, you're not responding. That's something completely different. And most intelligent people know when individuals react, even with premeditated reaction, it still doesn't make you more intelligent. It makes you actually an asshole, because you didn't have to purposely do that. And a lot of situations actually see that as more of the problem, opposed to it starts to look like, oh, you want to be a bully. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you want to play where you don't supposed to play at, or you want to disrespect where there's no need to be disrespectful. You know, that child that got caught going in someone's yard because they knew somebody that was over there and they thought they can just go and get the bike, but then they got caught and someone that they didn't recognize said, hey, and because they were familiar with that area, they're like, F you, and they run off with it anyway. Right? There's no connection into authority right there. And that's what people do when they look for the weakness in individuals and then run back to a crowd to destroy the name of someone or what a person is able to do. They try to make it seem like that character is not strong or presentable in some type of retrospected way that society would put this out, an internet way, a celebrity-ish type energy that everybody, migrates to. Well, if you go back a couple months to a video I dropped, we knew a long time ago that was two separate worlds. So how could I judge you for not being a celebrity? Make it make sense. Even the titles that go with that shit don't fit you. And if you walking around saying, oh, I can just do that, and you don't even got the experience, the schooling, the outcome of any of those things that develop, how the fuck do you feel like that's a part of you? We knew back in the day that people would watch television, they would watch the stories, they would hear words being said, and you would hear somebody every once in a while get upset and say a same word they said on TV. We would laugh because we knew they got that shit from TV. That's how distant it was. That's how spread out it was. Nowadays, people are using whole conversations that came from something that they didn't create. They don't even have the experience to have that existence. But because it feels somewhat familiar to something you might be going through, you think you can classify yourself as a person who gets paid to live that way. That shit is crazy. And I'll be like, yo, the mentality of people is so whacked. You can see where they're literally taking a syringe and sticking that shit in the different compartments of people all around. And then everybody start acting a certain way. Even in normal society. In normal society, going to the damn grocery store, you ran into the neighbor and all of a sudden they acting like they the richest woman on earth. Fucking strange and shit. Like, the fuck? I'm like, yo, this shit, I'm not saying these are things I did. So don't take my passion as experience. I just explain off notion. I'm knowledge. I see everything. And when I see things, I'm able to digress them to complete comprehension. So don't never be a fool to think, oh, this is what I'm talking about because it's what I'm going through. No, I'm not that idiotic. I'll shut my own mouth before I let someone do it for me. You understand what I'm saying? And if somebody goes behind me and try to speak towards me, they're lying. I don't give a shit. And if you never come to me to ask me what that truth was, that's what you wanted to hear in the first place. And sometimes people will set up a playing field just for it to be like that. You never seen people go around and make other people dislike you for inadmissible things that you don't have to question. So when they do come around and talk some shit, you like, yeah, I knew that was coming. You think that shit be just like that? No, people, that's why they don't talk shit in front of the person they feel about. They talk it to somebody else behind their back, because then that person has an opportunity to say, what you talking about? That's not how that happened. And that level or air of general or authenticity has to be questioned at that point, because you're speaking this like it's true. See, this is why things have to be done behind a back of something. This is why I said any negativity spoken from somebody is attached to the adversary. Otherwise, you wouldn't give a shit. People who deal with divinity and they're comfortable in themselves, they don't carry negativity. They try to put that shit down because it's like a rash. It's itchy. I don't want to touch that. I don't even want to be next to it. I don't even want to remember you acting like that in my life. Matter of fact, I don't even want to put you in my story because it's nasty energy. That's what real high vibrational people be on. That's what real children of divine be on. They don't digress to every negative thing they do. And they definitely don't waste their good energy by talking about other people. They don't do that. So it's a classification that comes with these particular energies. Majority of the time, we're going to sit there and get in a conversation on why this and why that. Why this and why that don't take place when you're an adult. You can think for your damn self. And if it's happening, that's because you decided it. Period. You don't need an explanation for that. Don't even need it. So to see the rhetoric continue and people of intelligence use the stupidity as an output to demoralize your own people and say, well, you know what? I ain't had nothing to do with that. I just recorded it. Yeah, you the output. You the plug. But you still not trying to take accountability. Everybody has a role in making something live or making it spread to the next value or showing it as an image. You excited about this situation. Oh, it went like that and they moved like this and they said this and da-da-da-da. You know what you're doing? You're reenacting. You're reenacting because your life sucks. So you want to go tell somebody about somebody else because prior to that, you wasn't doing shit. That's a fact. The reality is, if you are attracted to negativity and that's all you got to promote out your face, that's who you rock with. That's the team. That's the team jersey you wearing. That's the job you work for. We can't be this dumb. And that don't separate what I need to use for myself as far as protecting and solidifying anything. Divine gave us all mechanisms to be great in our own individual way. That don't mean I got to be immoral and a dam to every flow of water that's coming into existence. No, I got nothing negative to say about individuals directly with a condensation of their name attached to it. Nah, I don't got to do that. You know why? Because that's going to give you a signal of understanding. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to speak the truth because all you know truth, even though you may tuck it in your back pocket sometime, be like, I ain't paying attention to that shit right now. Yeah, that's your own personal downfall. That's called bird dens. A bird den, a circle where a bird goes and hide while they do bullshit outside. They scared of shit, tender bones. You don't want to face your shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we don't carry bird dens. We don't carry burdens. We don't pick up the beast of burden. Well, how can you be a beast of burden? A beast of burden, where does that come from? That means since you were stripped of everything universal, your actions will procure that value. So every thought pattern is a questioning because there's not knowing. So questioning starts to feel more aggravating than knowing does because you can't even get knowing. That's because you're a beast of burden. The mind can't get you past the comfort of knowing something is solidified in the truth or the sanctuary of divinity. You don't have to know stuff if you're in the sanctuary of divinity because divine gonna make sure you know. That's the difference. And when you don't know, you pick up burdens. You start thinking on every single direction that life's supposed to be other than what it is, other than what it's showing you because you ain't good within. You seen my new shirts. It says be right within. Cop one. Inbox me if you want one with the digital art of Lauryn Hill on the color on the chest of that. You already know the vibes. I got you. 2 different colors, mocha and sand or something like that. You already know it. Just hit me up. But you gotta be right. You gotta be right within, inside of you. That means a person who is literally fighting against they know they flesh got them effed up. But they doing everything that they can humanly possible not to let that shit fuck with the conduciveness of how they deal with themselves in society. That's a person who's rising. They don't let it slip out. They don't let nobody see that. That's called self-control. Even if you do let it come out a little bit, you be the first one to be like, you know what? You right. Nah, I can show my vulnerability at this point. Nah, I was feeling this way. That hurt my feelings. You did that. I'm gonna be quiet now because ain't no winning to that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. That's placing you where you were and them where they are. Audacity separates the value in everything. Divine to give you audacity to shut the mouth of other people because they keep talking behind your back. And that's a fact. On top of that, you take audacity to do everything under the sun, under divinity, to go against divine. Like it ain't like that's yours. Like I could just go use any basketball in the box and play. That ain't yours. You ain't pay for that shit. You better go ask somebody. And that really be how the work be. But then y'all go out here and y'all make posts and have little conversations and group meetings and send texts and all this other shit, trying to start what they call a disapproval amongst minds who don't know. One of the first things my grandfather ever taught me, but don't let nobody tell you about somebody else. If that person treated you like that, then you got the right to stand on that. But don't follow nobody else's way of how they feel about somebody else, because that could be stopping your blessing through them. You don't know how divine gonna use people. So that's what the adversary do. It gets you to go around and start burning bridges that's not supposed to be burnt. And when that happens, you sitting there looking like, I was right. Now you're going to keep saying that because that's a veil. See, the real value of true divine people, they are almighty. Almighty. So they'll find a way to find peace in each situation. And when you can't relate to that and you are taking the opportunity to digress in negativity off of a value when you had options, you speak to your own self. You don't speak to what you condemn. You heard? I ain't trying to hold you, just trying to show you some real shit. And a lot of times people don't even want to look at life like that because they keep trying to place themselves in something that they don't fathom or comprehend. Almighty is not something that you can just put on like an outfit. It's something you're growing to understand, and your weakness is the contingency to how well you move with your flesh in life. And every time you and you feel all that and then you react to that shit, you know what happens? Divine be like, that ain't one of mine. They over there complaining too damn much, and watch what they do next. And then you start tearing down everything besides you, demolition, just so you can look like the only thing left. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. That shit crazy. Because divine gonna slip in some go-go juice every time you start playing. And that go-go juice from the divine gonna get you quick flash silvered. Like you moving. Like, yo, wait a minute, where's that thing I was fucking with? It's gone. Where's the thing I had under control? It's gone. Divine gave us some go-go juice. Because control is not of the man. Why would divine let something that's in my same element of dimension have control over me? I'm not a captive. I was birthed here. I was birthed to buy here. I'm not a captive. I'm not a criminal. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a captive of earth. I'm a child of the divine. Are you crazy? Literally. So why would divine want to hurt me? So the world's job, or the system on top of the world and everything that's not of divine, is here to make everybody else become their minions because they can't step to me face to face. Stepping to me face to face is the divine war in its own attribute. They know coming in my facility to try to do that, and I'm sitting there holding divine in my heart, is going to turn them to ashes within feet of coming to me. I don't have to do that. I don't have to even think about it. And on that level, we have successfully, in some points, made that a reality. But in difference to this as a value, a lot of our people have become NPCs in different aspects. This is contrast. You're looking right at your people and you thinking everything is going to be, and they sell the story, and you put more energy in, and yeah, your heart is so given, you're so open, you want to believe that it's right until it smiles at you and it shows you in its eyes, yeah, I got you right where I want you. And then you realize, damn, that's how you thought about me? I didn't want to believe that shit, but god damn, yo, I didn't know you was like that. And that hurts more than anything. And you be like, damn, yo, I guess I didn't make the right decision. And divine was like, well, I told you was imperfect. This is what I showed you for. Sometimes you be so loving and be willing to help so fast, you don't even know what you're helping, son. But I'll make your enemies your footstool because you stay diligent within me. Oh man, tears came to my eyes. So many times when I've been around the midst of people who had negative intentions for me, and I just wanted to run away from them. I mean, I wanted to just get away, and divine be like, no, stand there, put your feet up. And my anger, my feeling is, it wasn't letting me look at them as a need for something. Like, and I would be like, damn, you did me so dirty. I just want to get the fuck away from you. I just don't even want to be around. I don't want to waste negative breath on you. Like, I started feeling like that. Like, I don't even want to waste my passion on people. So I get quiet. I'll shut all the way down. You know what I'm saying? Because what's the purpose of giving any of that to you when you truly just don't care? You know what I'm saying? If you can say something to hurt me, then you know, out of the circumstance that what we was dealing with, you ain't even signed up for in the first place. That's not what you there for, because you tried to hurt me. So if you tried to hurt me, an attempt to do something, and not supposed to be what you're protecting, my mind automatically starts to switch. It won't sit in that same comfortable spot. My mind itself, like my soul and my mind combination, it won't sit in a comfortable spot with you. Even my flesh might not be showing it, but my mind and my soul is like, run fast and far. That's what's, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, wow, I can't believe they really said this or really did that. It doesn't make me say, oh, I can't wait to get the opportunity to treat them like, it don't make me do that. It makes me say, ooh, no, I don't know. I didn't make the mess. I'm leaving. Y'all got to clean it up. Call your janitors. Like, I start thinking like that. Like, I don't think, yo, go wrap around them and make sure they're all right and go check. I don't do that shit. Like, hell no. If you show me the most heinous and you don't give a fuck about me, I have to accept that. And that be the hardest thing for real. So when I got to accept the fact that something that I thought I can love, I really can't. And that pill right there is not a conversation with nobody else. That's something you got to work out with yourself. Because it's walls inside of yourself that you will break down for people. You know what I'm saying? It's like levels you will go for people that they don't even know you will go for them. But those buildings and those platforms and those breezeways and all that you build for people, that you will just go inside that shit for somebody real quick. They don't know you building that because they don't comprehend the level of love you may have for them. So that's the depths of you. But only a true person who has love can see all you're building within structure and love for them. They can see that because they truly love you. And that energy inside, that same energy they have for excitement for you, they're going to feel you building that for them inside you. They're going to be like, it's something about it. That's how the energy does. And when you know a person doesn't have that, this is how you can tell somebody don't got that for you. They not really, it's like they're there, but they're not there for you. It's like they're there to receive you, not to perceive you. Like they're not there to learn you. They're there. It's a weird, it's just not complete, yo. That's the best way I can put it. It's not complete. And you'll keep seeing incomplete things. And then they'll make certain things that should have more weight the lightest thing ever. And things that, shouldn't have no weight on them. Oh, them motherfuckers weigh like 20 tons. That's how they come at you. It's some shit that shouldn't have no attention, but they put it all on that. And the things that are super important that need all your attention, oh man, that shit ain't nothing. That's it. And you be like, wait, what? All right. And then you watch that pattern a few times and then you be like, wait, that's implication. That's something being input. That's something being inputted into that, downloaded into that situation. It's like you got to watch when they first do the change, when they first do the new thing. You watch that and be like, okay, that's new. And then you watch how they bring it in at certain times. And you be like, oh, that's how they play games. I get it. I get it. Then you understand that it's not you that's important. And then once you realize that you're not important, is what you're able to do that's more important. I've heard some of the most craziest things and I would still look past it. Like, and divine would make those things loud. Like, you heard that, right? You heard that. And I'm going to show you where my work with divine comes in at. This is literally what I be thinking. Divine will show me what somebody fucked up at. And then I'll challenge divine with divine power. Don't jump on my neck for saying this yet. What I mean by I'll challenge divine with divine power is when divine points out something negative or I get a chance to be acknowledged to a negativity in somebody, I'll say things like, well, with the power of divine, we can fix anything. I be taking on big jobs, yo. And that be my problem, yo. Like, I take on big jobs and divine be like, look at them go. All right, son, let's see what you got. Let's see if you can really, I'll be like, well, with you, I'm walking with you. I ain't trying to do this shit by myself. Like, and that's where my energy come from. Like, that's why I be so careless and so strong in different aspects, because I know I'm not doing this alone. I know literally the knowledge that's coming to me is coming from divine, but I'm going to show you something. This be how divine teach me a lesson. Divine will give me the absolute knowledge. Divine will give me the absolute truth that the people need to succeed and strive. And I'll give it to them, and divine will give it to me in the most nonchalant way, the easiest way put. And because whatever individual is so damaged or so closed off from their own divinity, they gonna fight that simple shit. And divine will be like, you see how simple put that was? And you see they still coming at you, right? They gonna make it your fault. Divine, show me this shit. And he'd be like, well, what you wanted to do is you wanted to make it to where they adhere to me. Well, keep pushing and watch the outcome. So I'm being protected while I want to, how can I explain this? I never told nobody this ever in my life, but this is what I've been doing for years. I'm being protected from y'all while I believe with the power of divine, I can save you from your own self. Literally. That's what I do. You don't have to fucking believe me. You don't even have to think of what I'm saying is true. I've been known this shit. I know most of the people I deal with ain't worth the shit. I know that. That's why they're fucking attracted. I know this. Very few and far between I get a good one pop in that really genuinely need help. Very few and far between. But everybody else that come, they be people that ain't really worth a shit. And they know they ain't worth the shit on their soul level. So divine will charge me with everything to rise them back to divinity. And because it's coming from me and the way I'm saying things and how it looks, that's that story where they say the flood was coming and the guy was like, God, please save me. And divine sent 3 different vessels and he turned them all down. And divine was like, I was waiting. And divine's like, I sent you 3, but you turned them all down. And then the water came and washed them away. It's kind of like that. because I'm always not going to be seasoned in the eyes of people. I'm always not going to be the best looking. I'm not going to be the best spoken. I'm not going to dress right. I'm going to have all these shortcomings, right? But in the world of imperfections, why the fuck does that matter? Divine hides the highest value of divinity in the most insignificant places. What's insignificant to you today? A person who lacks a lot of materialistic things. So that doesn't mean visually I'm truly lacking. It just means visually to you it seems so. You don't know what the fuck I'm doing or what I have going on in my life. You don't know how well I do shit. You just judge. That's another cardinal sin you're not supposed to do. You see how I'm walking down this road right here? I'm showing you all the things the divine say don't do that y'all do purposely, but I'm showing you how in each situation there is a contrastal comprehension to the way you even look through those lenses and those concepts. And that's big. That's really how you throw it away. So it's supposed to hurt me because I'm genuine. If my feelings are gone, then shit, how am I ever feel divine? Divine put the feelings into me, so it's not for me to turn those off. People don't know what they talk about, but they listen to every single thing on the earth but divine. For the most part, divine stepped in because things started happening too soon. The strength of the protection of the elders started leaving. It was nothing there to protect the youth. So what, a baby that come out the womb supposed to know to pray to divine? Those are words created by man. They don't know that. So subject to the energy that created them, the cross-reference of what was added to them and what they're growing up around makes a bad reference of product of environment. More or less deeper than that, the confusion aspect. And people like to take their shortcomings and try to rise to a value that don't even meet standard based off worldly comprehension. Most people want divine knowledge just so they can be in the world more official. Think about what I just said. Most people want divine knowledge so they can show up in the world like fucking Batman or Superman or some shit. You think divine gonna give that to you? You're not even walking in the right direction with divine knowledge. So why would divine allow you to have that? Your want for it is the reason why you'll never get it. You never heard the term, if you chase money, it's never going to come to you. The more you chase it, the more it runs from you. That happens the same thing with everything else in life. Think about it. A person who's obese, they eat so much to where they can't chase it no more. Somebody got to bring it to them. Some people get so in the mentality of having whatever they want and whatever they need in certain situations to where they get sick, and now you can't chase that no more. You know, these mentalities start to put impediments in your life to where you start to think, damn, I didn't know this was going to happen. Yeah, because you didn't know, you didn't care how evil you were when you was thinking how you were thinking. Like, I literally be a sucker for the actual process. And the process don't be like in loser energy. No, I just want to do shit how it said it's supposed to be done. I don't care about what the world got to say. I just want to be in something right. It's not hard. Me personally, I want to be in something right. I want to do stuff the right way. Like, you know, two people on the same page, feeling the same way, fighting the same fights, accomplishing the goals together. Even when it gets rough, we know we can depend on each other. Like, that's how it's supposed to be. Now, what's the problem with that in society or around the entire world? Only certain people hold on to that because of fight or flight. They are in fear. So they say, yo, at the end, we need to hold on to each other because we don't know what's going to happen. Shorter people who fall around the heights of 4 feet and they're tribed up and they're cultured up. Yeah, they definitely stand together because they're little. You know what I'm saying? And you got other people that have different values and they're afraid of poverty, but in the same notion, they'll be like, fuck it. It is what it is. And that suffer starts to multiply by the region of visualists, meaning I can see you living like that. I probably can get through that. People will take vicariously a struggle of somebody else and say, yo, I want to live that life just to see what it feels like. This is depravity from pain. Do you know rich people have like this thing to want to suffer because they don't never get a chance to? You know what I'm saying? They have good lives. So they can never tell you the essence of taking nothing and really creating it into something wonderful. They don't know what that feels like. And to actually digress to it as, you know, nourishing, right? Like it actually gave you more vitamins than if you did go buy something natural or whatever, right? It's because love covers a multitude of sin, and that's frequency. Frequency and the power of that essence is so high, it can literally change the demographic of an item, right? This is why we even came up with the term cooking with love, because the food we had to receive sometimes was so bad. We had to pray and meditate over that shit. We had to put all our intentions into that food so it came out right. You think that's just something to be said, or do you comprehend that the value of energy? Well, to people who don't comprehend the value of energy, you can't even have a conversation with them. You would have a conversation in a group with them, and then they'll try to convince you it not to be true because it doesn't work for them. And equality is set to emotion for people to want to believe in full totality. How if we're not equally created? That's like the illusion that people force themselves on. Not for nothing, the authority or the, so to say, controlling parties of the earth are very delusional, and they believe false representations of truth and attach it to themselves, and then they get mad and want to blame everybody else when it doesn't serve them the way it's supposed to. So with that being said, all praises to the Most High, Supreme Creator of all things, good, bad, and indifferent. I want to encourage you to love from a selfless place. And when you can love from a selfless place, you multiply everything that comes to you. And things are going to try to hurt you to knock you off of that. But don't stop loving from a selfless place. Now, if they poke you and poke you and poke you, and the intentions start to get to the fact that where you can tell it's done purposely, then you got to step off, yo. You got to step off. You can't hurt yourself. You have to be a lover of self-preservation first. You can love everybody, but when it gets to the point to where it's hurting you, you have to step off. And if you don't, then nobody's going to make you step off, right? So yeah, it is what it is. But don't let nobody lie to you about nobody. Don't be accepting things that people say about other people. Learn for yourself. And if that's not something you can do, give it to the Most High first and foremost. But you have to have a sound mind first in order to find the solution. And majority of the time, that's not available for a lot of people. They just want to be mean. They just want to be angry because of whatever they lack in their existence, or whatever they was never able to experience by whatever choice they made. So you try to empower people in so many ways, and you know what they do? They doubt their own existence. And when you doubt your own existence, you're literally telling divine, no, I don't want that. So of course you're not going to receive it. NAGA the Wise. What's up, Kenyatta?